Hello, and thank you very much again for having me here and being able to introduce our exhibition. It's an exhibition, not a museum. That might be said at the beginning. We are an educational center. That means we are doing education, political education for young people, but also for adults. And we also work in consulting, society, single persons that encounter racism, anti-Semitism, discrimination, othering processes, people that are stroked by violence or anything, they can get consulting. And coming from these different perspectives, we also always have exhibitions, and we have a new exhibition right now about Anne Frank, and where we're all different, let's say, qualities or perspectives of the different ways we work and go together. I'm trying to speak a little faster, and I'm trying to maybe not say too much. Oops, no, sorry, other way around. So our exhibition is, because we are no museum, not based on a collection and not based on objects that we have to show or that we could show. But it's mainly a space that we're trying to create in a way that people starting from 13 up to whatever age they want to come can discuss different things that are important to them in society, different challenges they encounter. And we try to be very serious in saying we don't want to answer questions, we want to raise questions. We don't want to give knowledge, but to creating space where people can encounter other ideas, can start to argue, can start to even fight a bit over things, and can give in their own point of views. And the exhibition is not called exhibition, but learning lab, in order to show that this is not the usual idea of exhibition. And the name Anne Frank, Tomorrow More, is already telling that it's about different dimensions, different dimensions of time that came together. At once, it's the past, and not just the past, but the past of Anne Frank and her story. And coming with that, of course, the past of the National Socialism and the Shoah. And but it's also saying tomorrow more about the present time and about the future. And I think it's pretty much the same in each and every country, that people say, yes, we have to learn from the past. And we have to learn in a way that it could never happen again. I think this is something that most people would say, yeah, that's right, that's something we have to do. Oh my God, time is running. And that's something we have to do. But the question of how can we do this, and what does that mean, learning from the past, that is something that is often very differently answered. And starting this exhibition was beginning finding the answer to that. How should we learn from the past? What is the right thing to do here? And then we said, okay, this is not what we're going to do. We're going to open this very question. We're not going to have a secret idea, have some hidden agenda of how to do that, and then give some ideas, but to let the audience and the recipients of our exhibition pose their own questions here and find their own answers. And so it's about learning the past in the sense of learning the story of Anne Frank. And it's also the question of how to learn past, or what is past tense, and like this. And then it's the question of how can we be aware of the past when we encounter the questions of today. So I said we have no objects. We have one object, of course, and that is the diary, although it's not the real diary, of course, it's just a replica. But one thing about Anne Frank is that, you saw it before, a bit she's in the middle of so many questions and of so many obstacles. Should we see her as a person in a very particular way, or should we see her as an icon in a more universe way, as a symbol that stands for so many million people that were killed and murdered? Should we see her as a young girl that wanted to become an author, or should we see her as somebody who has successfully became an author? And all these questions are things that we are struggling about for very good reasons, and we don't want to answer this struggle, but we want to giving young people a sense of these struggle, how it is worth struggling to find an answer there and to find their own answers. In a way, for example, it is by what you can see here. We call it a living book, or let's say living book, where we want to show the people that were hidden together with the Frank family in the annex. We know them only by the way Anne Frank was talking about them. But we know little about them from their own perspectives, or perspective of the friends or others. So what we try to do here is give people more stories about the other people, and maybe like this, make it more personal and less prejudiced, because of course Anne Frank had a very specific point of view towards the others. Or what we can see here is the possibility to understand that the story that we know about Anne Frank, we do not only know about her narration, but it is also always a process of narrating ourselves. So you can find different main topics of the diary, like living and hiding because we fear for what is coming from outside, from the threat, from the terror. And you can see in different movies how the people took the same source and made a completely different narration out of that, so that you can feel how the history we know always is connected to the future that we see, or the present that we're in. Now the big question was, of course, of how can we connect Anne Frank from the past to the present without trying to avoid making very shortcuts. Saying it was all very bad back then, and this is why we have to be like this or that today, or saying it was bad back then and today it's just the same, which would be both very difficult conclusions. So what we thought what the good thread would be is to say we take the perspectives of youth very serious, and saying that youth always in the history is pretty aware of what is happening, knows what is going on and how it affects them, and many times have opinions and even say these opinions, and they are just not being listened to. And of course, Anne Frank's perspective is one of the most well-known perspectives of a young person in the world, but it's also the most marginalized, one of the most marginalized voices, because she had to write it in secret in an annex. So what we're trying to do is to show that there are many worthful young perspectives in history and in the present, and that the young visitors are some of these perspectives. And in order to let that happen, in order to let that happen, we use a maximum way of let them participate in the exhibition. So what they use a tablet, which we don't call tablet, but we call it a tool that can give them access to different forms of interaction that connect them to different topics that were important for young people back in the past, but also for young people today, how do we create the world? How do we treat one another respectful? How does the world concern me? In that case, for example, you can see racist glasses. This is an idea we got from the internet. There was a wonderful little movie about somebody who found some glasses, and whenever he put them on, he was looking prejudiced at others. So what we're trying to do is give young people impressions that might irritate them, and then the whole idea is to come together as a group and discuss what happened together. So learning to argue again and be in contact with one another. So I was rushing a bit, but I hope I made some time. Okay.